In the vast expanse of space, the Uvzan Confederation's exploration vessel, Veliara, detected an anomaly on the edge of their known space. The anomaly, a blue-green planet teeming with life, sparked curiosity among the crew. Led by Commander Varesh, a seasoned diplomat, the Uvzan decided to investigate this unknown world. The Veliara descended through Earth's atmosphere, landing cautiously in an open field near a human settlement. The Uvzan emissaries, tall and slender with iridescent skin and large, expressive eyes, stepped out of their ship. They were immediately met by Earth's military forces, who had scrambled to the landing site within minutes. Rows of tanks and soldiers, armed with advanced weaponry, surrounded the Uvzan emissaries. Commander Varesh raised his four-fingered hand in a gesture of peace, his voice resonating with calm authority. "We come in peace. We are explorers from the Uvzan Confederation, seeking knowledge and friendship." The humans, however, remained wary. Colonel Adams, the leader of the military contingent, stepped forward. "State your intentions clearly and surrender your weapons. Any hostile action will be met with force." Varesh, unarmed and sincere, tried to explain their peaceful mission, but the tension was palpable. The Uvzan, accustomed to diplomacy, were unprepared for such an aggressive reception. They complied with the human demands, hoping to avoid conflict. Despite their peaceful overtures, the humans were skeptical. They had encountered other alien races before, and not all had been friendly. Earth's leaders convened to discuss the Uvzan's presence, ultimately deciding to detain the emissaries for further questioning. The Uvzan were taken to a secure facility, where they were held under strict surveillance. While the Uvzan emissaries awaited their fate, an intelligence officer named Korin delved into the history of humanity. His task was to understand the nature of these beings who had so quickly turned to aggression. Korin accessed Earth's vast digital archives, studying centuries of human history. What he discovered was both fascinating and alarming. Humans, it seemed, had a penchant for conflict. From the early days of tribal warfare to the global conflicts of the 20th and 21st centuries, humanity's history was a tapestry of wars, revolutions, and violent upheavals. Each era brought new technologies and tactics, demonstrating an unyielding drive to dominate and survive. Korin's findings painted a picture of a species constantly at war with itself. The two world wars, the Cold War, regional conflicts, and countless smaller skirmishes revealed a civilization forged in the crucible of battle. Even in times of peace, humanity's preparations for potential conflicts were relentless. Military advancements, arms races, and strategic alliances shaped their societies. Intrigued and horrified, Korin compiled his report for the Uvzan leadership. He highlighted key events and patterns, emphasizing humanity's resilience and ingenuity in the face of adversity. "These humans," he noted, "are driven by a relentless will to survive and conquer. Their history is a testament to their capacity for both destruction and innovation." As Korin's report reached the Uvzan High Council, the gravity of their situation became clear. They had not just stumbled upon another peaceful species. They had encountered a civilization bred for war. The Uvzan leadership debated their next move, but the urgency of Korin's findings demanded immediate action. Back on Earth, the Uvzan emissaries sensed a shift in their captors' demeanor. The humans, now fully aware of the Uvzan's peaceful intentions, yet unable to fully trust them, began to soften their approach. Diplomatic talks were initiated, with both sides cautiously exploring the possibility of cooperation. Despite the progress, an undercurrent of tension remained. The Uvzan were acutely aware that any misstep could provoke a violent response from the humans. They tread carefully, hoping to navigate the complex web of human politics and military might without igniting a larger conflict. The initial tension between humans and the Uvzan escalated when a miscommunication led to a small skirmish near Earth's orbit. The Uvzan, with their advanced technology, believed they had the upper hand. Their sleek, energy-efficient ships hovered above Earth, exuding an aura of invincibility. However, they underestimated humanity's tenacity and resourcefulness. General Cassidy, a veteran of numerous conflicts, devised a plan to ambush the Uvzan fleet. Utilizing Earth's network of satellites and ground-based defenses, Cassidy orchestrated a coordinated attack. The plan hinged on the element of surprise and the use of unconventional tactics, a hallmark of human warfare. Under the cover of darkness, Earth's forces launched a barrage of electromagnetic pulses, temporarily disabling the Uvzan's shields and communication systems. Simultaneously, a fleet of human spacecraft, retrofitted with advanced weaponry, emerged from hidden bases on the Moon and various space stations. The Uvzan, caught off guard, scrambled to regain control. Human pilots, skilled in dogfighting and guerrilla tactics, exploited every weakness in the Uvzan formations. They used the debris of old satellites and space junk to create obstacles, forcing the Uvzan ships into narrow corridors where they were easy targets. In the chaos, Captain Juno led a squadron of agile fighters through the heart of the Uvzan fleet. They targeted the command ship, a massive cruiser with advanced weaponry and reinforced armor. Juno's squadron executed daring maneuvers, dodging energy blasts and returning fire with precision. The command ship's defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. Captain Juno's final strike, a concentrated barrage at the ship's propulsion system, resulted in a massive explosion that lit up the night sky. The remaining Uvzan ships, witnessing the destruction of their flagship, retreated in disarray. The Uvzan retreat sparked a flurry of activity within the Galactic Council. Representatives from various alien species convened an emergency session to address the human threat. The Council's grand chamber buzzed with anxious conversations as delegates took their seats. The room was filled with representatives from the Shylac, the Dravani, the Xenor, and numerous other species, each with their own concerns and agendas. Councillor Threx of the Shylac, known for his diplomatic prowess, called the meeting to order. "We have all heard the reports. The humans, a species we believe to be isolated and primitive, have demonstrated an unprecedented level of aggression and tactical ingenuity. We must decide how to respond." Councillor Varya of the Dravani, a species known for their martial prowess, spoke next. "The humans' victory over the Uvzan is a clear threat to galactic stability. Their history of violence and rapid technological advancement makes them a danger to all civilized worlds. We must act swiftly to contain them." The debate intensified as other representatives voiced their opinions. Some advocated for immediate military action to neutralize the human threat, while others, like Councillor Zenith of the Xenor, urged caution. "We must consider the consequences of another direct conflict. The humans have proven their resilience and resourcefulness. A prolonged war could be disastrous for all parties involved." After hours of heated discussion, the Council reached a consensus. They decided to form a coalition fleet, composed of ships from various member species, to quarantine Earth. The goal was to prevent humanity from expanding beyond their home planet while avoiding direct confrontation. The coalition would establish a blockade, monitoring and intercepting any attempts by humans to venture into space. The Galactic Council's decision was a calculated risk. They hoped that isolating humanity would contain the threat without provoking further hostilities. However, the plan relied on the assumption that humans would comply with the blockade and not find a way to break through. As the coalition fleet assembled, tensions ran high. The fleet, an impressive armada of diverse alien ships, set course for Earth. Their arrival marked the beginning of the siege, a tense standoff between humanity and the galaxy's combined might. On Earth, the news of the blockade was met with defiance. Humanity, having tasted victory against the Uvzan, refused to be cowed. Earth's leaders convened to devise a strategy for enduring the siege. They knew that their survival depended on their ability to outlast and outthink the coalition forces. General Cassidy and Captain Juno, heroes of the recent ambush, were tasked with leading the defense. They mobilized Earth's resources, fortifying orbital defenses and preparing for a prolonged conflict. The humans were determined to prove that they could not be contained, that their spirit and ingenuity would triumph over any obstacle. Inside the coalition command ship, Admiral Threx of the Shylac, known for his strategic brilliance, coordinated the siege. "Maintain tight formation," he ordered, his voice resonating with authority. We must ensure no human escapes and no aid reaches them. On Earth, the atmosphere was tense but resolute. The United Earth Council, formed from the unification of Earth's governments, took charge of the defense. President Elena Rodriguez addressed the global population via a live broadcast. We face a challenge unlike any before, but we are united, resilient, and resourceful. We will endure, and we will prevail. The first weeks of the siege saw numerous attempts by humans to break through the blockade. Small, agile spacecraft, often piloted by civilian volunteers, launched from hidden bases. Each mission was a daring attempt to scout the blockade's weaknesses and gather intelligence. Most were intercepted by the coalition's patrols, but a few managed to return with valuable data. General Cassidy, overseeing Earth's military response, used this intelligence to devise new strategies. "We can't match them ship for ship," he told his commanders, "but we can outthink them. We'll use every trick, every piece of debris, every moon and asteroid to our advantage." Earth's scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to develop new technologies and enhance existing ones. They repurposed satellites into makeshift weapons and created stealth technology to evade the coalition's sensors. Underground bunkers and hidden bases became the nerve centers of the resistance. Rebecca, a former military strategist turned resistance leader, emerged as a key figure. She coordinated covert operations, leveraging her knowledge of guerrilla tactics. "We strike from the shadows," she said to her team, "hit them where they least expect it, and disappear before they can retaliate." The resistance launched a series of sabotage missions against the coalition. They hacked into communication networks, disrupted supply lines, and planted explosives on key ships. These actions, though small in scale, had a significant impact on the coalition's ability to maintain the blockade. The coalition fleet, designed for large-scale engagements, struggled to counter these unconventional tactics. Admiral Threx grew increasingly frustrated. "These humans are like phantoms," he remarked to his officers. "Every time we think we have them cornered, they slip away." Despite the hardships, Earth's population remained defiant. Communities banded together, sharing resources and supporting the resistance. The blockade, intended to break their spirit, only strengthened their resolve. The human will to survive and fight back was unyielding. Inside the heavily fortified underground bunker, in what was once Denver, Rebecca gathered her top operatives for a critical briefing. The room buzzed with quiet intensity as maps and holographic displays showed the coalition's positions. Rebecca's sharp eyes scanned the room, taking in the determined faces of her team. "We've made life difficult for them," she began, her voice steady and strong. "But we need to do more. Our next target is their primary supply depot on the far side of the moon. If we can disrupt their logistics, we can force them to spread their resources thinner." The team, composed of former soldiers, engineers, and hackers, nodded in agreement. Each had a specific role to play in the upcoming mission. Among them was Sarah, a brilliant hacker who had previously infiltrated the coalition's communication network, and Marcus, a demolitions expert with a knack for creative solutions. Under the cover of darkness, a small, stealth-equipped shuttle launched from a hidden base in the Rocky Mountains. Rebecca led the mission, guiding the shuttle through the maze of debris and sensors. Sarah worked her magic, hacking into the coalition's security systems to create false readings and mask their approach. The shuttle landed silently near the supply depot, concealed by the shadows of lunar craters. Rebecca and her team moved swiftly, planting explosives at key points and uploading viruses into the coalition's computer systems. The operation was executed with precision, a testament to their training and coordination. As they made their escape, the first explosions rocked the depot, followed by system-wide failures that sent the coalition forces into disarray. Supplies meant to sustain the blockade were destroyed or rendered unusable. The coalition's logistical chain was severely disrupted, causing delays and confusion. Back on Earth, the successful mission was a morale booster. News of the raid spread quickly, inspiring more civilians to join the resistance and support their efforts. Rebecca's leadership became legendary, her name a symbol of hope and defiance. However, the coalition was not to be underestimated. Admiral Threx, though frustrated, adapted his strategies. He ordered increased patrols and tighter security measures. He also reached out to other species within the Galactic Council, seeking reinforcements to maintain the siege. Despite the tightening noose, the Resistance continued to innovate. They developed new methods of communication, using encrypted signals and coded messages to coordinate their activities. They also built alliances with sympathetic alien factions who provided intelligence and occasional supplies. Rebecca's operations grew bolder, targeting not just supply lines, but also key personnel within the coalition. Assassinations, kidnappings, and sabotage became routine. Each action was meticulously planned and executed, designed to sow chaos and weaken the coalition's resolve. As the months passed, the siege took its toll on both sides. Earth cities bore the scars of conflict, and the coalition fleet showed signs of wear. Yet, the human spirit remained unbroken. The Resistance, under Rebecca's unwavering leadership, continued to strike back, turning every setback into an opportunity. The siege of Earth became a prolonged war of attrition. The coalition's resources were stretched thin, and internal conflicts began to surface. The Dravani and the Xenor, frustrated with the prolonged engagement, questioned Admiral Threx's leadership. This discord was exactly what Rebecca and her team needed to exploit further. In a daring move, Rebecca planned a large-scale assault on the coalition's command ship. It was a risky operation, but if successful, it could cripple the coalition's leadership and turn the tide of the siege. The Resistance prepared for what could be their most significant and dangerous mission yet. Inside the coalition's command ship, a heated argument erupted among the senior officers. General Varak of the Dravani slammed his fist on the table. "This is getting us nowhere, Threx. Our forces are dwindling and the humans continue to defy us. We need to crush them with a decisive strike." Admiral Threx, maintaining his composure, responded, "A rash attack will only lead to more losses. The humans are resourceful and unpredictable. We must continue to isolate them and apply pressure until they break." Counselor Xenar of the Xenor interjected, "We cannot afford further internal discord. If we fall apart now, the humans will seize the opportunity. We need to find a way to work together, or we risk total failure." Amidst the growing discord, the human Resistance seized their chance. Rebecca, always attuned to the nuances of enemy movements, received intelligence about the internal conflicts within the coalition. She knew this was the moment to strike. Rebecca called a meeting with her top operatives. "The coalition is on the brink of falling apart," she said. "Their disunity is our advantage. We need to exploit this weakness and deliver a blow that will shatter their cohesion." She outlined a plan to sabotage the coalition's central command structure. The target, Admiral Threx's command ship. The Resistance would use the chaos within the coalition to infiltrate and disable the ship's systems, causing maximum disruption. The operation began with a diversionary attack on the coalition's outer defenses. As the coalition forces scrambled to respond, a small team of Resistance fighters, including Rebecca, Sarah, and Marcus, slipped through the cracks. They boarded a cloaked shuttle and navigated towards the command ship. Sarah hacked into the ship's security systems, opening a hidden access point. The team moved swiftly through the corridors, planting explosives and hacking into the central computer. Marcus's demolitions expertise ensured that each explosive was placed for maximum impact. As they reached the command center, Rebecca signaled the final phase. "Activate the charges and prepare for extraction," she ordered. The team set the timers and retreated to their shuttle. As they departed, the charges detonated in a synchronized explosion, crippling the command ship systems and causing widespread chaos. Admiral Threx, caught in the middle of the turmoil, struggled to regain control. The Dravani and Xenor factions, already at odds, began to blame each other for the security breach. The once cohesive coalition was now in disarray, their leadership compromised. The coalition's internal strife reached its peak as humanity prepared for their next major offensive. Earth's leaders, recognizing the significance of their recent victories, decided to take the fight to the coalition's primary stronghold on the moon. The Battle of Luna would be a decisive confrontation, one that could determine the outcome of the siege. General Cassidy and Captain Juno led the charge, coordinating a multi-pronged assault on the coalition base. Earth's forces, including a mix of military personnel and resistance fighters, prepared for a full-scale invasion. They knew the risks were high, but the potential rewards were even greater. The coalition, still reeling from the sabotage of their command ship, struggled to organize their defenses. Admiral Threx, his authority weakened, could only watch as the Dravani and Xenor bickered over strategy. Despite their differences, they understood the importance of holding Luna and prepared for the inevitable human assault. The battle began with a massive bombardment from Earth's orbital platforms. Precision strikes targeted the coalition's defensive emplacements, clearing a path for the ground forces. Human dropships descended onto the lunar surface, deploying troops and armored vehicles into the fray. The coalition's defenses, though disorganized, were formidable. The Dravani warriors fought with ferocity, while the Xenor provided strategic support with their advanced technology. The lunar landscape became a battlefield, with craters and ridges serving as cover for both sides. Captain Juno led a daring assault on the coalition's central command bunker. Her squad, equipped with the latest in stealth and combat technology, infiltrated the base under heavy fire. Juno's tactical acumen and quick thinking allowed them to outmaneuver the Dravani guards and breach the command center. Inside the bunker, Juno and her team faced fierce resistance. The Dravani commander, a hulking figure named Kravos, engaged Juno in hand-to-hand combat. The clash was brutal, each blow resonating with the desperation of the fight. Juno, drawing on her training and experience, managed to disarm Kravos and deliver a decisive strike, incapacitating him. Meanwhile, General Cassidy coordinated the broader assault, directing troops to key positions and ensuring supply lines remained intact. His strategic brilliance and ability to adapt to the chaotic battlefield were instrumental in maintaining the momentum of the attack. The tide of the battle turned as Earth's forces gained ground. The coalition, unable to regroup effectively, began to falter. Human soldiers pushed forward, securing key installations and capturing vital resources. The coalition's stronghold on Luna was crumbling under the relentless human advance. As the dust settled, the humans emerged victorious. The Battle of Luna was a resounding success, a testament to humanity's resilience and strategic prowess. The coalition, now in full retreat, had lost their primary foothold in the solar system. The victory on Luna marked a significant shift in the siege of Earth. Humanity had not only defended their home, but had taken the fight to their enemies, proving that they could hold their own against the galaxy's mightiest forces. The coalition's defeat sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council, forcing them to reconsider their approach to the human threat. Rebecca, now a prominent figure in Earth's defense strategy, was approached by a Eurydian envoy named Kalen. The meeting took place in a secure, underground location far from prying eyes. Kalen, with his tall, slender frame and eyes that seemed to pierce through the darkness, exuded an air of mystery. "We have been observing your species," Kalen began, his voice smooth and calm. "Your resilience and ingenuity are admirable. The Iridians see potential in an alliance. We offer our assistance in exchange for future cooperation." Rebecca, always cautious, scrutinized the offer. "What kind of assistance are you offering? And what do you expect in return?" Kalen leaned forward, a slight smile playing on his lips. "Our expertise lies in intelligence and subterfuge. We can provide you with critical information about the coalition's movements, weaknesses, and internal conflicts. In return, we seek your commitment to aid us in future endeavors where our interests align." After careful consideration and consultations with Earth's leaders, Rebecca agreed to the alliance. The Iridians proved true to their word, supplying valuable intelligence that allowed the resistance to anticipate and counter coalition strategies. With Iridian help, Earth's forces conducted successful raids on coalition supply lines and disrupted their communication networks. Kalen became a trusted advisor, working closely with Rebecca and other key figures. His insights into the coalition's tactics and his ability to predict their next moves were invaluable. Under his guidance, the resistance grew bolder, launching more sophisticated operations that further destabilized the coalition. Inspired by the success of the Resistance and the newfound alliance with the Iridians, other human factions across the globe began to rise up against the alien oppressors. The spirit of defiance spread like wildfire, igniting rebellions in cities and regions previously under strict coalition control. In New York, a group of former military personnel and civilian volunteers formed the Liberty Brigade. Armed with makeshift weapons and a fierce determination, they launched a surprise attack on a coalition garrison. The battle was fierce, but the element of surprise and the sheer willpower of the rebels led to a resounding victory. The coalition forces were driven out, and New York was liberated. Similar uprisings occurred in Tokyo, Moscow, and other major cities. The resistance provided support and coordination, ensuring that each rebellion was strategically sound and well supplied. The coalition, stretched thin and struggling to maintain control, faced an increasingly organized and united human front. In Tokyo, a young leader named Aiko emerged as a symbol of hope. Her tactical brilliance and ability to inspire those around her made her a formidable opponent. Under her leadership, the Tokyo uprising successfully reclaimed critical infrastructure, including a major communications hub that allowed the resistance to broadcast messages of hope and defiance across the globe. In Moscow, an underground network of engineers and hackers, led by a genius named Ivan, managed to disable a coalition command center. Their efforts crippled the local coalition leadership, allowing the human forces to reclaim the city. Ivan's team continued to provide crucial cyber support, hacking into coalition systems and gathering intelligence. The coalition, now facing rebellions on multiple fronts, struggled to maintain their grip on Earth. The internal conflicts within their ranks, exacerbated by the Resistance's relentless assaults and the Iridians' intelligence, led to further disarray. The Dravani and Xenor factions, already at odds, began to fracture further as blame was cast and trust eroded. Earth's leaders, recognizing the momentum of the uprisings, coordinated a global offensive. General Cassidy and Captain Juno spearheaded efforts to unify the disparate resistance groups into a cohesive force. Their combined operations targeted key coalition strongholds, systematically dismantling their power structure. The Liberty Brigade in New York, Aiko's forces in Tokyo, and Ivan's network in Moscow all played crucial roles in this unified effort. Their victories were celebrated as milestones in the struggle for freedom. The human spirit, unyielding and resilient, shone brightly as a beacon of hope. As the coalition's grip weakened, more regions declared their independence from alien control. The tide was turning in humanity's favor. The once dominant coalition now faced an unprecedented level of resistance, their resources dwindling and their morale shattered. The Omega device was a colossal superweapon, capable of mass destruction on an unprecedented scale. Hidden away in a remote sector of space, it was brought out only in the gravest of situations. The coalition saw its deployment as a last resort to crush human resistance and reassert their dominance. Rebecca, ever vigilant, received intelligence about the Omega device from Kalen. This weapon could decimate entire cities, Kalen warned. If they deploy it, the consequences will be catastrophic. We need to act quickly. Earth's leaders convened to discuss their options. General Cassidy, Captain Juno, and Rebecca all agreed that capturing or disabling the Omega device was imperative. They devised a bold and risky plan. A strike team would infiltrate the heavily guarded facility where the Omega device was stored and attempt to neutralize it. Captain Juno led the strike team, which included some of Earth's best soldiers and engineers. They traveled in a cloaked ship using Iridian stealth technology to avoid detection. As they approached the facility, they encountered heavy resistance. The coalition, aware of the Omega device's importance, had fortified the area with their best troops and most advanced defenses. Juno's team fought their way through, using a combination of guerrilla tactics and advanced weaponry. The battle was intense, with casualties on both sides. Despite the odds, the human strike team managed to breach the facility's outer defenses. Inside, they discovered the Omega device, a massive, ominous construct humming with energy. The team split into two groups. One group, led by Juno, engaged the remaining coalition forces, while the other group, composed of engineers, worked frantically to disable the device. Time was running out. The engineers, under the leadership of a brilliant scientist named Dr. Lee, deciphered the complex alien technology. Dr. Lee realized that simply disabling the Omega device wasn't enough. They needed to reverse engineer it to use against the Coalition if necessary. With moments to spare, the engineers managed to deactivate the Omega device and initiate a reverse engineering protocol. The team regrouped and made a hasty retreat, bringing with them the data and components needed to replicate the Omega device's technology. The successful capture of the Omega device was a turning point. Earth scientists, working tirelessly, managed to adapt the technology to create a powerful deterrent against further Coalition aggression. The Coalition, now aware that their ultimate weapon had been turned against them, faced a demoralizing blow. With the Omega device neutralized and its technology in human hands, Earth's leaders prepared for the final phase of their campaign. The Coalition, already weakened by internal strife and the relentless human resistance, was now facing the prospect of their own superweapon being used against them. The psychological impact on the Coalition forces was profound. General Cassidy and Captain Juno coordinated a series of decisive strikes aimed at the Coalition's remaining strongholds. The plan was to break their power structure completely, forcing a surrender or a full retreat from the solar system. Earth's newly adapted technology, based on the Omega device, gave them a significant advantage. The first target was the Coalition's primary command center, located on a massive space station orbiting Mars. Earth's forces launched a multi-front assault, combining space, air, and ground attacks. Captain Juno led the space assault, piloting her fighter through intense enemy fire and targeting key defensive systems. On the ground, Rebecca led a contingent of resistance fighters in a covert operation to infiltrate the command center. They used Iridian cloaking technology to move undetected through the facility, planting explosives and hacking into the Coalition's communication networks. The simultaneous assault on multiple fronts overwhelmed the Coalition's defenses. Inside the command center, Rebecca's team encountered fierce resistance. Coalition soldiers, driven by desperation, fought tenaciously. Rebecca, using her tactical expertise, directed her team with precision, ensuring minimal casualties while maximizing their impact. They reached the central control room and secured it, effectively crippling the Coalition's command capabilities. Meanwhile, General Cassidy coordinated the broader offensive, directing Earth's forces with strategic brilliance. His ability to adapt to the rapidly changing battlefield ensured that the Coalition's attempts to regroup and counterattack were swiftly neutralized. The fall of the command center marked the beginning of the end for the Coalition. With their leadership in disarray and their communications disrupted, Coalition forces across the solar system began to retreat. Earth's forces pursued them relentlessly, liberating occupied territories and reclaiming strategic positions. In a final bid to salvage their campaign, the remaining Coalition leaders attempted to regroup at a fortified base on Titan. Earth's forces, now fully mobilized and equipped with the advanced technology derived from the Omega device, launched a full-scale assault on the base. The Battle of Titan was fierce and brutal. The Coalition, cornered and desperate, fought with everything they had. Earth's forces, driven by the desire to end the war and secure their future, matched their intensity. The sky above Titan was filled with the streaks of energy blasts and the explosions of downed ships. General Cassidy and Captain Juno, leading the charge, coordinated their forces with precision. Rebecca, once again in the thick of the fight, led a ground assault that breached the Coalition's final defenses. As they stormed the central command bunker, the remaining Coalition leaders were captured or eliminated. The fall of Titan marked the definitive end of the Coalition's presence in the solar system. The remaining Coalition ships, leaderless and demoralized, surrendered or fled into deep space. Earth's victory was complete. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted as news of the final victory spread. The long and brutal siege was over. Humanity had not only survived, but had triumphed against a formidable and technologically superior enemy. The unity, resilience, and ingenuity of the human race had prevailed. With the coalition defeated, Earth began the process of rebuilding and healing. The alliance with the Iridians continued to flourish, and new alliances with other species emerged, recognizing humanity's strength and potential as a powerful force in the galaxy. President Elena Rodriguez addressed the assembled leaders and representatives. "We have faced an unprecedented threat and emerged victorious, but our challenges are not over. We must ensure that our hard-won freedom and security are preserved. The Human Galactic Alliance will be our shield and spear, protecting our interests and guiding us into the future." General Cassidy was appointed Supreme Commander of the HGA, while Captain Juno was named head of the Exploration Corps. Rebecca, whose leadership had been instrumental in the resistance, took on the role of Chief Strategist. Dr. Lee, whose expertise had been crucial in reverse engineering the Omega device, was appointed Chief Science Officer. The first task of the HGA was to consolidate Earth's defenses. They upgraded existing military installations and established new bases on the Moon and Mars, ensuring that any future threats could be detected and countered swiftly. The new technologies derived from the Omega device were integrated into Earth's defensive systems, creating a formidable shield around the planet. With Earth security assured, the HGA turned to exploration and diplomacy. Captain Juno led a fleet of exploration ships into uncharted regions of space, seeking new resources and potential allies. These ships were equipped with the latest technology, including advanced propulsion systems and powerful defensive capabilities. During one of these missions, Juno's fleet discovered a resource-rich planet in a nearby star system. The planet, named Nova Terra, was ideal for human colonization. Plans were drawn up to establish a colony, which would serve as both a new home for Earth's growing population and a strategic outpost in the galaxy. Meanwhile, Rebecca and Dr. Lee focused on forging alliances with other civilizations. The Iridians, whose assistance had been crucial during the siege, became close allies. Their expertise in espionage and intelligence continued to benefit humanity, and in return, they received support for their own endeavors. Rebecca's diplomatic efforts also brought other species into the fold. The peaceful Anari, a race known for their advanced agricultural techniques, offered to share their knowledge in exchange for protection. The industrially powerful Grendak, impressed by humanity's resilience, proposed trade agreements that would benefit both civilizations. These alliances strengthened the HGA, making it a formidable force in the galaxy. Humanity's reputation as fierce warriors was balanced by their ability to forge meaningful relationships and uphold their promises. The galaxy, once wary of humans, began to see them as valuable partners.